All right. So how many people here have been to a promotion board? Soldier of the Month, NCO of the Month board. All right. Good. How many people plan on going to a board? From the time of me going to boards and many boards that I sat on, there's always been the beginning that everyone gets stumped on. All right. Beginning of a board, all right, is the Sergeant Major's questions. And the one topic that's always in his area of topics is history, your battalion's history. And nobody ever knows battalion history, or they only know like a small little detail of what battalion history is. All right. So today I'm going to give you a little information brief on the 20th Engineer Battalion. All right. Informed soldiers, it's not difficult to understand the history of the unit they're assigned. It's very important to know your history, know the roots, know what your unit has done. All right. Know the lineage. That's the big thing. It's important to know what the history of the unit you're serving in. All right. What they've done in the past, and to what you're doing now. In the future. So pretty much we're gonna go over 20th Engineer history. All right, the origins. All right, 20th Engineers can trace back to 7 December 1917 when they were the 42nd Engineer Battalion. Okay, it was constituted in a national army. All right, back then it was a national army, not the United States Army. All right, the unit was filled with enlisted reservists. Unit was filled with enlisted reserve corps, which was recruited from the government forestry services. All right, so they recruited people from the forestry industry back in 1917. And selective service. All right, so selective service is primarily it's not a draft. It's just certain people at the age you can say it's kind of a draft, but they're already technically in the military. The actual organization took place 1 month later, 7 February, at the American University in Washington, D.C. All right, they were immediately sent to St. Nazaire, France. So as soon as they became an organization officially, they put them on a boat and they went to France. All right, engineers called up. When the organization was finally over, it consisted of a regimental headquarters. Okay, so regimental headquarters is kind of like it's a little bit bigger than a division. All right, and a corps. All right, it's in the middle. All right. It had 14 battalion headquarters, 49 forestry companies, 28 service companies, all right, which pretty much kind of like mixed up your mechanics, food, all kinds of other different support companies, and 2 attached engineer battalions. So on top of all theirs, they had other battalions coming in attached to them. They had 368 officers and 19,385 enlisted men. Yes, back then it was men. All right. They were the first to arrive in France. All right, for the WW1 portion of France, and it was primarily in charge of supplying lumber to armed forces in France. They were also the most diverse in American expeditionary forces. All right, so it's the reason why we were called lumberjacks is from back then. All right, they were primarily in charge of just cutting down trees, making boards, and getting them shipped out to units. So, all right, so the other units or parts of their company can go around and make barracks and living areas like what we still do now to this day. All right, well, when we go overseas to, combat zones. All right, engineers are out there building buildings. WW2. All right, so World War II, 1942, the 20th Engineer Battalion was still known as the 42nd Engineers, and were redesignated to the 20th Engineer Regiment. So right before they shipped off to WW2, all right, they became the 20th Engineer Regiment. All right. 1 November 1942, they boarded a converted banana boat and headed to Casablanca, French North Africa, where they unloaded all the cargo of the African operations. All right, so they were in charge of unloading all the equipment for the campaign that's going to be in Africa. They cleared a fortified for a hotel site known as the Hotel d'Anfa. And today that hotel is still around. All right, it's a historical site. They also conducted the longest motor marches in history. All right, they had a motor march through Africa, 1,100 miles. Okay, through through the hills and all kinds of other stuff. In Vietnam, they're also called the Vietnam. In 1965, they arrived in Vietnam and was used primarily for construction purposes. All right, building outposts and buildings and all kinds of other stuff like engineer stuff does. The Persian Gulf. All right, you're also involved in the Persian Gulf. 1990, they deployed to Saudi Arabia where they were attached to the 101st Airborne, and they were conducted counter mobility and survivability operations, and they attacked 300 miles into Iraq in the Desert Storm. So they didn't just build stuff; they actually went in and cleared. They made logistics bases and cleared roads of obstacles and minefields. All right. They also deployed in Iraqi Freedom in 2004 with 1st Cav, where they were assigned under 1st Cav. All right. And then in 2005 is when the Army decided to go module. All right. So 20th Engineer Battalion, all right, redesignated, became a modular company. All right. And then that's when it became part of 36th Engineer Brigade here at Fort Hood, Texas. All right. There's 2 companies that are always organic to the 20th Engineer Battalion. That is your HAC, your headquarters, and your FSC, your forward support company, all right, your mechanics. Other companies are just assigned to a modular unit. Today, in 20th Engineer Battalion, all right, we have your HAC and you have your FSC, all right, but then you also have 2 route clearance companies, you have 1 sapper company, you have 1 MAC company, all right, that are organized to, that are assigned to the 20th Engineer Battalion. So it's not hard to learn the history of your battalion or your unit that you're assigned. You know, just a quick snapshot of what 20th Engineer Battalion is, all right, what their lineage is, you know, and what they have done since they have been first, you know, organized back in 1917, and that the rich history that they have and the proud people that served under them. That's all I have for my speech today. If anybody has any questions, thank you.